International Mindset and Transformation Masterclass. With different teachers, different mentors, different professors from across the globe. Interesting, informative, and life transforming. A must watch masterclass.
Prayer. Lord our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the abundance blessing that bestowed upon us. Let thy name be glorified as we are celebrating the Platinum Jubilee on the throne of Her Royal Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I pray for all the family members of Y.Y.C.I, the royal family members, and our extended family, fraternities, and sororities. Grant us thy peace, love, and compassion. Lord, we give unto your hands the 3-day mindset and transformation masterclass. Provide us thy wisdom, lead us and guide us to transform our lives. Let thy will be done in our lives. I pray in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Okay, let's go straight to it. First of all, I want to welcome everyone. I want to welcome you all our distinguished speakers and also our participants. We want to appreciate your time, and I want to appreciate the fact that we are all together to learn together, to grow together, and to make a difference in this world. And this mindset and transformation is the beginning of the beginning, because if our mindset is changed, then we can transform and we can make a difference in this world. People are watching us, and the world is waiting for us to make an impact. And we want to continue to encourage ourselves, learning together, standing together, and growing together. So I don't want to waste most of your time today, because we want to go straight to the point. So our first speaker is, first of all, let me just, let me appreciate everyone that is on the platform. Thank you so much. I want to appreciate you all. And I want to appreciate my mentor as well, Dr. TPS. I want to appreciate Pastor Nelson, Dr. Kavita, Dr. Prasati, Pastor Alexandra, our fireman. I want to appreciate you, Dr. Hollis Idapo. I want to appreciate Mr. Jacob. I want to appreciate Mr. Jill. I want to say thank you so much for really coming together. Sorry for the initial problem. I know we have gone through it and we will overcome, and we are getting better every day. So thank you so much for coming. Also, I would like us to join me, because the reason why we extend, normally it's supposed to be 2 days, but because we extend it is because we are celebrating Our Majesty, HRH, Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen of England, as she celebrates a platinum jubilee today, and also celebrating 70 years on the throne. Wow. So we really, really appreciate, and we are doing a lot here in UK celebrating her. So I just want to treat this as our breakfast for us to quickly learn together before we all go out and celebrate with our mother. So we are all welcome. We have make it a special day. So we have it today, tomorrow, and on Saturday before the street party here in UK. And we want to say on behalf of Yes You Can International family, we congratulate our honor, our majesty, Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen of England. We appreciate and we celebrate her. So let's move forward. Our first speaker today, before, let me also say that we have 3 days of power packed. We have so many speakers among us. We have Professor Engineer King Onyeche Promise Obina, our grand patron. We have Professor Dr. Charles coming to join us and speak to us. We have Bishop Nelson Pelson. We also have Dr. and Professor Dr. Kavita. We have Pastor Alexandra Obend. We have Ambassador Dr. Folabi Timothy Olani. We have my mentor again, Professor Regunet coming in. We also have Professor King Unkum coming in. We also have Professor TPS. So like he said, get ready. We are together this weekend to be packed and for our mindset to be renewed and for us to make a transformation. So get ready. Please don't miss any of this. Our great speaker, they are my mentors, they are my teachers, they are my brothers, they are my leaders. So let's work together. So without wasting time again, I would like to introduce our first mentor, our first teacher, our first speaker, Dr. Kavita, international acclaimed inspirational speaker known as Happiness. Happiness Women, positive psychology, psychotherapies, psychomerit test for professional teacher trainer, and gatekeeper trainer for suicide prevention, social activists for world peace and happiness, have canceled almost 365,000 women, wow, and adolescents till March 2022, voluntarily on happiness under the title, Happiness is Your Birthright. She is also honorarily positioned Vice President of ISRA India, editorial board member of Rahul Maggi Prabhu Igni Patrika, supported by India, I'm trying, Council of Social Science Research currently, since 2019 to this time. She is also an international president, Department of Health and Success World, NGO run by Queen Nadia and King of Hawaii Island 2019 till this time. Central Team National Coordinator Wellness for India COWI Action Network. She's also a project head for SumWordNet, a collaborative initiative of ICANN and NCPCR, even up till now. So we have a lot to say about this, our great mentor. But allow me to stop here. If you want to get in touch with her, feel free to get in touch with her. So now, well, let's welcome Professor Dr. G.C. Kavita to this conference, to this masterclass. Here we are. We welcome you, Dr. Professor Kavita.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, dear Queen Elizabeth. And it's my absolute honor to be a part of the great platinum celebrations of Her Royal Majesty, Queen Elizabeth. And it's my absolute pleasure. Today's masterclass, I was just asked to talk about the relationships, maintaining, like what are the various strategies that we need to adopt, to maintain healthy relationships. As we all know pretty well, Human being a social animal, we all are connected. We are all connected to each other in some way or the other. Like, I mean, I'm sitting here right now talking to you all, and I'm not even probably I'm not even sure like if I'm going to meet you all in future. I'm not even sure about it. But yet, despite that, there is a connection. There is a connection, and probably this is my fourth time. This is my fifth time here. This is my fifth time I'm attending Queen Elizabeth's masterclass. I mean, if you have to ask me what makes me come here, I would attribute the first reason being the relationships. That probably the way Queen Elizabeth has made me feel, or probably the way the audience has made me feel, or probably the way the kind of positive vibes I get when I sit and when I'm talking to people when I'm talking to people. I really don't mind coming back again and again, and I feel it's my absolute pleasure
Thank you.
because of the relationships. Thank you so much, sister. Because of the relationships. So today the topic that what I was just wondering, like, let me talk about relationships, the strategies about relationships. Because as social animal, we all know at some point of time in life we are connected to every other person we happen to see. I mean, the only difference lies in like how closeness is the connection and how dependable is the connection. So let me take the psychological perspectives of these relationships much before I say the strategies or give you the strategies for maintaining healthy relationships. Because I'm 10% sure most of you would have heard about or would have read from someone or would have observed or would have noticed like what are the various ways that relationships could be maintained well in a quite a positive way, in quite a positive way. But what we don't understand, what are the foundations, the psychological perspectives that we have to understand, we need to know to really improvise our relationships with people, with our communities, with the country as whole. Before I talk about this, I think I like to bring the very base foundation of what kind, what kind of attachment style leads to a better relationship. To narrate this, to cite this, to make it more easier to understand, as usual, I like to start with a story because my favorite, notice is my storytelling, and I think that really connects people quite good. So I really prefer doing that. Let's say, for example, you're coming home, you got a promotion at the office, you got a promotion at the office and a hike in the pay, and you're coming back home. Your husband is sitting deeply engrossed reading something or doing something on his laptop. You come home running. You come home running. The door is open and you're so super excited about to give or to convey the information or the message that you got a promotion and you got a hike in the pay. This is the scenario. This is the scenario. Let me take it under four categories. Four categories of responses that reflect the attachment style that you've been groomed as right from your childhood. Right from your childhood. It is not something that just come like that. Attachment style or responsive behavior is the kind of a behavior that is groomed, that is imbibed right from childhood, and we carry it till the grave. We carry it till the grave, almost to a great extent of 60 to 70%. 60 to 70%. So let me again remind you the scenario. You got a promotion. You got a promotion. And for a moment, I pardon all the gentlemen here. Just think about you're the wife of the household. And then, you got a promotion, you got a hike in the pay, and you come home rushing so excited to give this news to your family members. So your husband is sitting deeply engrossed in his laptop, listening to something or reading something. You go and you convey this information to him that, hey, yes, darling, I got the promotion and this is what I am. There are four kinds of responses that you usually notice under this scenario. Response one, your husband comes to you, hugs you, he says, I'm super happy about you. This is something that is best expected, that is best expected out of you, and you are truly deserving. And then I'm so proud of you. And I'm so glad and lucky that you are my wife. And then, yeah, now we have so much to do in life. This is something that's really going to build in so much, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. This is scenario one. Let me talk about response two. This is response one. Let me talk about response two. Wife comes and the husband is deeply engrossed in his laptop, and wife gives this message. Husband just looks up and says, "Wow, that's a great thing. I'm so glad that it happened. I think now we can live better. We can have good money. Probably we can improve our lifestyle better. That's nice. And let's go for dinner." This is the second response that you're expecting in a regular relationship scenario. We're talking about a third response to the same scenario. The husband is still engrossed in the laptop. Wife comes out with this information, with this news, and then husband says, "Okay," and he's busy. "Come, let's go for dinner." And the fourth response, the last response, which we usually find in the relationships. The fourth last response is it so? I thought you never liked the company, and how did you accept this promotion? You know the promotion means more work on you. This promotion indicates more things on you, more stress on you, more work on you. And how did you accept? Why did you accept for mere increase in the pennies? Why did you do that? Why did you do that? And is it not going to spoil the whole thing? This is fourth response. I'm sure you would all agree that you would have been in one of these responses most of the times. 70 to 80% of the times. 80% of the times. Let me tell you, this scenario, this is what is going to make or break the relationships. This is one going to make or break the relationships. There are four categories, four responses that are important for maintaining a healthy relationship. It could be a couple relationship, it could be a friendly relationship, it could be a parental relationship, it could be a community relationship, it could be a relationship to what you are to the country, what you are to the country. There's been a great research that has been done by Dr. Shelley. She says that it is so important to support when things go right. And the most important thing, the most important aspect to maintain the relationship is to give your support when things are going right, not when things are going wrong alone. Not when things are going wrong alone. The first response I spoke of, it is called this response, this kind of response is called active constructive response, where the husband comes, he has the same emotion, he shared the same emotion of the wife, and when the husband is sharing the same emotion of the wife feels validated, wife feels authenticated, wife feels that this gentleman really loves me, the kind of emotion what I share, he shares the same. This is called the active constructive relationships, which is very, very important to maintain a healthy relationship. We are talking about the second response where the husband says, "Wow, this has happened good. I'm so glad. Come, let's go for dinner now." You know, this is a very positive way of response, but it is quite passive. It's quite passive, it's not active. This kind of response is gonna give a kind of a feeling to a person. It's gonna give a kind of a feeling to a person that this man is not so that happy with me. He's not sharing that kind of emotion, what I'm going through right now. What I'm going through right now. Even these kind of responses would not maintain a strong relationship. The third one is active destructive relationship. This is the last response what I said. He said, "How did you accept this promotion? I was feeling that you never liked the company. Why did you take up the promotion? It's going to add lot and lot of work on us. It's going to do lot and lot of things on us. This kind of relationship, it totally breaks the relationship. This kind of responses totally breaks the relationship because you're not really bothered. You're not really validating my emotions. You're not really happy sharing your emotions with me. And we both are like poles apart. You're not bothered about me. You really don't care of me. This is the kind of relationship that really destroys the relationships. Now we are going to talk about active destructive relationship where the husband just is so busy. He says, "Yes, it's okay. Yeah, that's good. That's happening." Even in this case, the active destructive relationship or the passive constructive relationship, they are not really going to build the relationships much, much better. They're not going to build the relationships much, much better. So when we are talking in today's class, let's first try to understand what are the different responses that we give as a common human being, as a normal human being, and what are the strategies that we adopt to make the relationships more active and constructive, because there has been many studies that have proven that have said that for a relationship to be better, It is just not necessary that you take part in the saddest moments. It's most important to be with the person when the things are going right, when the things are happening to the person. Because when something happens to a human being, the human being is seeing success. It makes them feel better. It increases their sense of worth. It increases their self-esteem. It makes them a better person. If something, some situation is making a person a better person, and the best friend or the close friend is validating that emotion, stating that, hey, look, it's just not you who has built your self-esteem. It's me too who feels so happy that you have built your self-esteem. I'm so happy that you built your sense of worth. Sense of worth. So every relationship responses, the responses in every relationship, because relationships are formed only through responses. Let's not forget that. The base foundation of any relationship is through responses. How well you respond and how serious you are, how authentic you are and how real you are. How real you are in being a part of somebody's life. This is where it makes the relationships. This is where it makes the relationships. So now let me go ahead with what are the few strategies I like to talk of to make the relationships much better, to make it more stronger. We all know pretty well disagreements are a part of life. Do you all agree with me or not on that? Disagreements are a part of life. Disagreements are a part of life. It is only a disagreement. It is not a withdrawal. It is not that you don't like the person. Disagreement doesn't mean that you don't like the person. Disagreement doesn't mean you're withdrawing from the person. Disagreement doesn't mean you hate the person. Disagreement only means, let's be very clear here, when there is a disagreement in the relationship, it only means in any kind of partnership, it could be a couple partnership, it could be a friend partnership, it could be any partnership. In any partnership, disagreements are a part and parcel of life. And first, let us understand the psychological foundation. Disagreement doesn't mean you hate the person. Disagreement is a difference. Disagreement is a difference. And the way you go ahead or the way you take the disagreement or the fighting style you adopt in taking this disagreement is where you can really build your relationships or you break your relationships, because the fighting style plays an important role. And again, I categorize under three. Number one, the first fighting style, when there is a disagreement between two people, they yell at each other, they resort to personal criticism, they try to bring back the old stories. They are not focusing on the problem now. The story goes back 10 years back. You said this, your mother said this, your father said this, your friend said this, start bringing in. So when there is a disagreement, the first error that one should not do, don't bring in the personal criticisms into it. That is the first thing that we need to understand. You focus on the problem. You focus on the disagreement. Don't bring the whole story along all the way. 90% of the relationships they fail because they bring back the old stories and they start trying to bring in a personality, building up the old stories of the past into the current situation, and there is no focus on the problem. Rather, there is focus on the personality, the characterization of the person, and then the character ditching of the person. So let us never do that. If there is a disagreement between two people, let us not forget disagreement is a disagreement. Disagreement is not hate. Disagreement is not it's not character assassination. Disagreement is not a personal criticism. Disagreement is only means it needs a discussion. It just needs a discussion, because even fighting, if two people have to fight, the fight has to be more constructive, not destructive. What all I mentioned earlier, these fights make a destructive relationship. So when the fight is a constructive relationship, if the fight is a constructive fight, these constructive fights lead to a solution to a disagreement. Lead to amicable solution to a disagreement. When I say constructive fight, the most important thing, avoid all the things what I have mentioned earlier. The most important thing is try to listen to each other. Most of the time we don't listen. We just want to hear what we like to hear. We just want to hear what we like to hear. We want to hear what makes our ego better. We want to hear what makes us win over the situation. We don't really sit to really find to we don't really hear to or we don't really listen to really find a solution to the problem. We really don't fight to, we don't fight to find a solution to the problem. So the most important thing, constructive fighting is, you fight, no problem. Two people should fight, because if everything is so goody goody, I tell you, finally you don't have any memories to call for. The relationships are strengthened to differences. The relationships are strengthened to disagreements. They are strengthened through all these things, because that makes the relationships much more stronger. But when the relationship has to be made stronger, the fighting should be constructive fighting. For constructive fighting, listening is pretty important. Listening is pretty important. And next thing, most of the relationships that have a conflict, try to resolve the conflict in a peaceful way by trying to understand the viewpoint of the other person. Viewpoint of the other person. The reason why I insist on this, because there are certain personalities that don't change. Let us say the wife is OCD wife who's so particular about cleanliness. Husband is a normal guy who doesn't care. No matter how much you want to tell the husband still cannot change, because the wife will not change her OCD, her obsessive compulsion for cleanliness. The husband will not change his mindset because he doesn't understand that most of the time they're only busy fighting with each other. Fighting with each other. So when you know there is a disagreement, try to see if that disagreement is related to the personality of a person. If that is related to the personality of a person, because personality of a person starts from the cradle, it goes to the grave. Certain things can't be changed for some reason. They don't like to be changed because we've been hardwired to be that way. They don't change. So the third most important thing is acceptance in the differences. When there are differences, it's pretty important that you need to accept the differences. When you start accepting the differences, when you start accepting the differences, you know that the person is gonna be like this. There is no harm in that. That is what he is. He's been born to different parents altogether. I have been born to a different parent altogether. So we can't expect things to be the same. And let me tell you, the differences are more beautiful than similar things, because when you are same, your partner is same, it becomes boring at some point of time. It becomes boring at some point of time. The differences, appreciating the differences will make the relationship much, much, much better. That is the next thing I like to talk about. The next thing is communication. If you have a problem, don't keep to yourself, because another biggest problem that I often keep finding in people is like they don't communicate. They don't want to resolve the problems. They just keep quiet. They withdraw from the problem. Silence is not a solution for disagreements. Silence can never be a solution for disagreements, because communication is the key for any differences. Communication is the key to really bringing help in a relationship. In a relationship. So with all this having been said, Jan, and I think I leave the card to you. It's now time for you to really think like you really want to build the relationships or break the relationship. The choice is all yours. As I told you, communication, acceptance, and really focusing on the problem rather than the personality or personal criticisms. This is most and the way of responses during the positive situations. If a person can really take care of all these four things, the relationships can be made really, really beautiful, no matter how different two people are at any point of time. With this note, thank you so much. It's again a pleasure to be in this class today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You've really, really touched key points here. And I'm also learning fast. And that is why I don't want to be greedy. So that is why I'm inviting all our Y.Y.C.I international family to come to this platform and to learn. Because when we learn together, then it makes sense and we can grow, we can understand. And you have really taught on some key points today, especially relationship, because everyone here can believe with me that whatever we do on earth, relationship is very important. In fact, relationship is the platform for us to demonstrate what we know. Am I right? So with that, and we cannot be alone, and we cannot be successful, we cannot be happy, and we cannot be a tree, because a tree cannot be a forest. So we are together, and that is why God has created us. I mean, he created Adam and then realized, no, one person cannot do this job. Let's build a relationship. And for us to keep on building relationship, we need to go through some strategies that Dr. Kavita has really shared with us this morning or this afternoon, wherever you are. And I know that we've all jotted something down. Well, just to recap quickly, she talked about that relationship there must be a disagreement. You cannot say there will be no disagreement. So we have to have a better understanding of it, that yes, we can still disagree because we are all different. We have different opinions. We are all different, but we're still unique. But when we disagree, we also agree by understanding. So when Dr. Kavita now said that, yes, it's good to disagree, but it has to be constructive. Everything have to be constructive, because if you don't disagree in a real way, in a better way, that is where other things comes up. So I really appreciate that. She also said that we need to be active, constructive respond. I think that is also very important, because how we respond will depend of your own maturity as well. And we also depend on better understanding of what you've heard the other person said. And we also depend on your own personalities. So it is very important that we have the active, constructive respond. How you respond, we present, how you respond, we determine the kind of relationship that you will now build on. So responsive is very important. She also taught us about us learning together, listening to one another. And I think that is very common. We want people to listen to us. We want to yell, we want to talk, we want to blah, 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 blah. But let's slow down and listen to others. It can be your spouse, or it can be your co-workers, it can be your business partners, it can even be the children, because their voice also need to be heard. They are looking for somebody to listen, that will listen to them. So it's very important that we all develop that skills. Let us not just assume that my own opinion is the best, or what I say is that is final. No, relationship cannot build on that. And I'm glad that Professor Kavita has also mentioned it to us today. She also talked about acceptance. And I think that is really, really important, because sometimes we don't accept others. We want others to behave the way we behave. We want others to accept our own opinion, to accept us. But we need to do it we need to also do it in the other way. We need to accept people the way they are, because we are not perfect. No one is perfect. No marriages or relationship is all perfect. We are all getting better every day, and we're learning every day, just like what happens at the beginning of this master class. I'm learning every day. So we need to be acceptant. We need to accept the other people the way they are. It's very important, because if not, we will keep on condemning, criticizing, and then we don't see the good part of that person. I always say something as well. If you are going to build a relationship, know something, that assess your own first. Know that you have your strength. Know that you have your weakness. So know that your weakness can be somebody's strength, and your strength can be somebody's weakness. And that is the beauty of relationship, when we accept one another. She also mentioned communication. Oh, wow. Can we separate communication from relationship? It's not possible, because you cannot be talking to yourself. That is another level. But we need to make sure that what we are saying is we are speaking it at the right time to the right person at the right position. And I think that is very important in relationship. Yes, what you want to put across, what you want to share or you want to say might be might be very important, but are you saying it in the right way? Are you using the right language? And are you saying it to the right person? Because it's very important that we construct this communication in a very good way. The way we're going to speak to our children is definitely different from the way we're going to speak to somebody outside. The way we're going to speak to our spouse, our husband and wife, will definitely be different from the way you will speak to your business partner. I hope you are all agree with me on that. So communication is very, very good. So I don't want to waste much of your time. I think I've done a little bit of roundup for that. And we want to say thank you so much, Professor
Thank you
Kavita.
so much. Thank you.
And as we have agreed, you'll be coming back again next month to continue
Sure.
where you have paused. I believe,
Sure.
yes,
Yeah,
yes, because
done.
we want continuity. Because if we want to get,
Yeah.
we can grab everything within 30 minutes. But when we give time for you to come back and continue where you've stopped today, then we can get a better understanding. And that is the time we can be transformed. And that's the way we can make a change and make an impact and also enjoy our lives. So thank you so much
Thank you so
for
much.
this
Thank you.
time.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now we need to move on. Let me see, the next speaker will be, okay, let me go like this. I have prepared yeah. So the next speaker, right, another honorable in our midst. The next speaker will be Pastor, Dr. Ambassador Alexander Obend Potent. Potent. I'm trying. Please bear with me with my I'm trying all the way from Ghana. By the way, let me let you know that Professor Kavita is from India. That's the unique of these Zoom meetings where we can tap into different countries. People can come from different countries to come and learn and also to come and share and teach us. So Pastor Alexander Obend is a man full of love for God and mankind. He has his master's degree in organizational management at the Cambridge International College, United Kingdom. He is the president and founder of Turning Lives Ministry and lead and enter academic Ghana. He has operates Smart Health Plus Limited as the CEO and the founder. He is a gospel minister, a preacher, an evangelist, and a songwriter with several albums and singles with the media name AOB. Alexandra is a global peace ambassador and the Ghana country director of International Organization of Ambassadors with headquarters in Argentina and the International Parliament for Safety, Peace and Justice. He loves to teach and train young people in leadership, entrepreneurship, diplomacy in the fear of the Lord. Currently, he is an administrator at Suyani Technical University in Ghana. Pastor Alexandra, the one that we're about to listen to, that is going to share with us, has 3 kids and a beautiful wife. So let us welcome Pastor Ambassador Alexander Mountain from Ghana. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth Lucas. I'm very humble this very morning in Ghana to join the masterclass, an international masterclass that comes with a lot of knowledge from all over the world. In fact, this morning I've been blessed with the presentation of Dr. Kavita, and it looks like my presentation is part two of Dr. Kavita's presentation, and that's the beauty of the masterclass. So, Doctor, God bless you so much. I've learned a lot, and I think that I might also be mentioning some of the things you mentioned in your presentation. I want to say I'm humbled to see my senior ministers and ambassadors, my queens and my kings, and all professors and doctors on the platform. I believe that I'm the youngest of you all. Thank you so much for listening to someone like me also. Greetings from Ghana anyway, and from everybody that will also be hearing from you. This morning, I want to be talking about understanding as key to peace. Maybe I want to share some slides if the other accounts can be enabled for me. Understanding as a key to peace. Okay, so it's enabled.
Yes, you are now the co-host.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
All right. You okay there?
All right, so trying to,
Okay.
yeah, I'm trying to just enable it.
Okay.
Okay, so. Okay, please, can I try to see?
Yes, we can see now.
All right, thank you so much. So, understanding as key to peace. When we read from the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7, the Bible says that wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all you're getting, get understanding. So, this is where I'll pick my presentation from. In all you're getting, get understanding. So, it means that we must learn to understand, and then understanding too is a choice. All right. So, if we come to peace, one can choose to understand and one can choose not to understand. But it's time to teach the world that understanding is not to choose what you want or what looks good for you. Sometimes you have to understand, even when it doesn't look good for you or it does not mean a better way for you. Just like Dr. Kavita was saying, you need to have a good response to understand. You need to accept some people just to understand. So, number one, in explaining or trying to see what understanding is, I say that understanding is to have sympathy towards somebody's woes or someone's woes or troubles. So having sympathy is one way of understanding to a person. And then also understanding a concept means you get it. So if you get something, it means that you are okay with it. You don't need further explanation. It means that you understand. And then number three, to come to an agreement or not just to be fulfilled, but you are just agreeing, not because you are fulfilled with whatever they are saying, but you have to agree because of peace to prevail. And lastly, to have a firm root on an issue. So if you look at the word understand, it is under and then stand. So when you are standing, what's supposed you to stand is what I call the understand. So understand is a root. It's a root that grips you down for you to be strong in all issues, whether it is good for you or it is bad for you. You have the good root to keep on standing. So that is the one way I can choose to explain to understand. Now, we want to learn to understand. How do we learn to understand? So I have some few points I'll be going through the presentation for us to see how we can learn to understand. Number one, we need to ask relevant questions that leads to problem solving and not provoking. If you need to understand, question asking is one of them. You need to ask questions that will not bring provocation, but rather will lead to problem solving. Some people want to pose questions just to provoke others. But if you have understanding, your questions must aim towards solving issues and solving problems. Giving attention to what you are told. If you are given instructions, if you are given commands, if you are given written instructions to follow, you need to give attention to it. The Bible says that, my son, give attention to my words, all right, and keep my words in you. So if you give attention to what you have been told, it means that you are learning to understand. And then not forsaking the law. In every country, in every organization, in every place, there are some set rules that everyone must follow. You should not forsake the law. Many that are forsaking the law leads to places where there are no peace. I wouldn't say war. Sometimes there might be trouble. Sometimes it might be chaos, just because some people are forsaking the law, not turning away from the word of God. If you really want to have understanding, you need to glue your eyes to the word of God. The Bible, God told Joshua that this book of the law should not depart from your mouth. Meditate upon it day and night, and you shall have good success. So good success also comes out of good understanding. And that is, if you meditate upon the word of God day and night, it shall bring you understanding. Knowing that the years of your life will be many. If you have understanding, you tend to live long. So the Bible says that lack of knowledge, my people perish. If you have understanding, you have knowledge, it will help you preserve your life from so many issues of life. Because things that you need to fight for, you choose not to fight because of understanding. Things you need to grudge in, you don't grudge because of understanding. Places you need to go, you don't go because of understanding. Things you need to do, you don't do. Or things you need not to do, you don't do because of understanding. All these things come together to preserve your life and helps you to live many, many years. Loving wisdom in a matter. If you love the wisdom in a particular matter, it means that you have understanding. Like Dr. Kavita was presenting, we are all loving the wisdom in Doctor's message. It means that we have understanding and we love what she was telling us. So loving the wisdom in a matter means that you have understanding. So when somebody is giving you a presentation or giving a conversation, you don't choose to attack the person with the weaknesses of the conversation, but the wisdom in the conversation must also be loved. Following the right path. If you have understanding, you follow the right path. Taking firm hold of instructions, like I said earlier on, giving attention to what you have been told. Instructions are very, very important. And if everybody is keeping firm of instructions, there wouldn't be chaos, there wouldn't be trouble, there wouldn't be problems, there wouldn't be so much issues of life, because each of us are keeping hold to instructions. Following the right path. So I've said that already. When you have understanding, you follow the right path. You take firm of instructions, like I said earlier on, not entering the path of the wicked. People that have understanding will separate themselves from the path of the wicked. So when people are wicked towards others, you try not to go with them because of understanding that life is precious. Because of understanding that when you kill, you will also die out of killing. Because of understanding of the word of God, you don't enter in the path of people that are wicked or places that wickedness comes from. Having understanding means that you should not be violent in a matter. There are some matters that you need to be very violent. You can go very angry, and sometimes your response that comes out of the matter will be so violent that it can lead to death. But if you have understanding, you don't go violence in the matter. Like we were hearing from Dr. Kavita, your responses to violent issues comes in a calm way because of understanding. And this is the things that we need to have understanding. The Bible says, get understanding, seek understanding, go for understanding. In all you're getting, in your many getting, in getting houses, in getting wives, in getting children, in getting all the technologies in the world, in getting everything we want to get, we also need to get understanding to avoid violence. Focusing on what is being said, keeping your heart with all diligence, putting away from a deceitful mouth. If you have understanding, you don't just say anything. If you understand the person you are talking to, maybe the person has some kind of temperament that will lead the person to anger or to sorrowful moment or to make the person moody or to bring the person in a particular area that he cannot deliver. if you have understanding of the person you are talking to, you try to put your mouth away from deceitful words. You try to be diligent in your heart. You try to also focus on what you are saying so that you don't bring issues that will cause violence or break people down or break the heart of people. If you have understanding, you know how to break up a relationship. You do it in such a way that the person you are breaking out with the relationship does not get hurt and does not bring him problems in the future. If you have understanding or you learn to understand by removing your feet from evil, by removing your feet from evil. If you remove your feet from evil, it means you have understanding. You have understanding that what is not good for you is not good for others. You have understanding that there's a golden rule that says that what you don't want to be done to you, you don't also do to others. So you do unto others as you want others to do unto you. It is understanding. So if you have this understanding, you do not do unto others wrongly. You do not react to others the way you do not want them to react to you. So you need to learn to understand by not giving a fast conclusion. When matters are being presented to you, how do you conclude on those matters? If you have understanding, you don't give a quick conclusion. You see the way people behave, and just once you give conclusion that they are bad people. You see the way people behave, and you give a conclusion that they are good people. How do you come by bad people? How do you come by good people? How do you see that people have the kind of qualities you are looking for? Don't give fast conclusion. You need to give yourself time. You need to have understanding that people can be very deceitful. The Bible says that Jesus knew the people that he was working with, so he didn't trust them. But yet, some of them were very good to him. And to surprise you, it will shock you enough to know that the one who betrayed Jesus was one of them that he has chosen as his disciples. So didn't he have the understanding that this guy could betray him? Yes, of course, because he knew what he was sent to do on earth, because he knew that somebody must betray him. So he added him to his disciples. If you have understanding and you are going through problems, you don't blame people too much. You should know that all things work together for those that love God and are called according to his purpose. If you have understanding, you don't kill yourself over a situation. If the matters are not going your way, you are not so much perplexed. You are not so much anxious, and anxiety doesn't kill you. Depression doesn't kill you. Stress doesn't kill you, because your understanding is that things don't last forever. There are good times and then there are bad times. And when all these things comes, they are put together to bring you to a wealthy place. The Bible says in Isaiah, we have passed through water, we have passed through fire, but God has brought us to a wealthy place. So if you have understanding, you know that going through fire is part of your grooming. Going through water is part of your grooming. And all these situations and environments and atmosphere changes brings you to a wealthy place and makes you who you are. Learning to understand also means that applying the word of God in every matter. Like in Solomon did, when he was presented with an issue of somebody has killed the son, and then he is claiming that the other one is for her. Solomon has to understand the situation before he passed judgment. And his judgment was so much without doubt that no, this one belongs to this and this one belongs to that. So understanding helps us to give good judgment. And that is why we need time to apply the word of God in every matter. If you apply God's wisdom in every matter, you are able to come out with solid conclusions. Learn to understand by not always putting others to blame. Do not be the blamer. Always others are at fault. You are never at fault. If you understand, you learn to also put blames on yourself. As a leader, if you understand, you learn to know that you are responsible for everything that happens. And you do not blame others, even if they are the cause. You learn how to put people the way they have to be put, and not always casting insinuations, not always casting blames, not always letting people feel bad because you want to feel good, because you want to look better, in the faces of others. You want to be praised. You want to be given all the accolades. So you always put people to blame when there are problems and when there are challenges and when things are not going on well. Now you also learn to understand by thinking beyond yourself. Sometimes you can become so selfish because you do not have understanding. You have not gotten understanding. You don't also know that somebody can be better than you. The Bible says that we should not ought to think of ourselves highly than we ought to, but to also know that others can be better than us. We should know that we are the least among all others. If you have this understanding, it helps you to deliver more, number one. It helps you to learn more, number two. It helps you to be humble, to receive more, and become the best version of yourself. So you learn to understand by not thinking that you are better than everyone. but not seeing yourself as highly above everyone. So you are highly and above, highly exalted over everyone. That is lack of understanding. The Bible also calls it pride, and it says that pride leads to a fall. So you show me a man who will fall, and I'll tell you a man who is very proud. You show me a man who is very proud, and I can tell you a man who is about to fall. Learn to understand by not judging others according to what you see or what you hear. The fact that you have seen them doing something so evil does not make them evil people. And the fact that you have seen them doing something so righteous doesn't also make them righteous people. So you learn to understand by not judging people according to what you see or what you hear. Sometimes we can be deceived by what we hear, and sometimes we can also be deceived by what we see. More times we can also be deceived by the circumstances we find ourselves. So we need to understand ourselves. We need to have understanding by judging situations, by judging according to what the word of God says, by judging according to what the word of God has for us, but not what we see, what we hear, or what the circumstances around us is. Learn to understand by pleasing God in all that you do. If you really want to please everybody, you end up pleasing nobody. So in life, I have learned to please God. When you want to please God, you will step on toes, you will step on people's toes. And when you do not want to please God, you will also step on people's toes. So you learn to please God rather. If God is pleased, I think that you are doing the right thing, and then you'll be satisfied. Satisfaction comes when you are pleasing God. But when you end up pleasing others, these same people will come back, blaming you, and then are pointing, accusing fingers on you. So what I'm saying is that we learn to understand by not being surprised at what we hear or what we see. Do not be surprised when the people that you trust, betray you. Do not be surprised when those that you do not trust also render themselves to be used to service. Don't be surprised. If you know that people change, you don't get surprised at what you see or what you hear. Sometimes the kind of words that some people will tell you seems so degrading, so disgusting, so disappointing. But do not be surprised. Never be surprised, because you have understanding the way people can behave. Have understanding by not struggling with others who do not believe in you. Do not struggle when people do not believe in you. Do not expect that everybody will believe in you. If you have understanding, you don't go about fighting people who do not believe in you. You don't go about trying to present yourself so well that they will trust you. Have understanding by pleasing God, like I said, and don't struggle. Do not fight with people that say that you're not good, with people that say that we don't need you here. Understanding will tell you that there are others who prefer you. There are others at the other side of the river, at the other side of the other country, that will want to live with you. The Bible says that Jesus, even himself, couldn't do more miracles in his own hometown because the people didn't believe him. They saw him as a carpenter's son, whose mother was Mary and whose father was a carpenter's son. They saw him growing as a small boy. So when he said that he was God's son, they didn't believe him. They thought he was blaspheming. And so he didn't struggle with this. He needed to move on to Galilee. And all the big miracles that we ever heard of, walking on water, turning water to wine, feeding the 5,000 people, were all done in Galilee, because he knew that there are other people on the other side of the city who trusted him and who believed in him. And that place, greater miracles will be done. Learn to understand by not betraying friends and family because of money, because of houses, because of land. We betray friends, we betray family. If you have understanding, you know that properties and all these things wouldn't last. And when you cross to the other side of the world, where you don't go with money, you know that all the things that you have struggled for, understanding will tell you that they are vain. So the Bible says that if you gain the whole world and you lose your soul, what profit have you gotten? So you also learn to understand by knowing that you are not above the law. No matter your position in life, you could be the president, you could be the CEO, you could be the general secretary, whatever, maybe the peak of the position. But learn to know that you are not above the law. It is understanding that lets you know and operate under the law, even at your highest position. Learn to understand by accommodating the views of others. No matter how, excuse my language, foolish or stupid the views of others are, it must sound wisdom as you ponder over it, as you listen to it carefully, as you digest the views that others are giving you. It might be very insulting. It might be an accusation. It might be some way, but as you have understanding and sit to ponder over it, it might be speaking to you one way or the other. This is understanding. Learn to understand by knowing that people are not the same everywhere. People in India are different from people in Ghana. People in Pakistan are different from people in UK. People in the United States are different from people in Russia. And so if we learn to live with our differences, we are understanding that people are not the same everywhere. And so the way I would treat an Indian will be the different way from the way I would treat a Nigerian. And all these things will help us live in a very mutual way of understanding. Learn to understand by knowing that people are not the same everywhere. Also, by not keeping a gossip or controlling your tongue. If others come to you and they gossip about others, know that one day they are also going to gossip about you. So don't keep gossip. Don't keep people who do not control their tongues. They always want to talk about others. Learn to understand by knowing that things stabilizes with time, and time is a healer. If you are going through situation, don't stop. If you are going through hard times, don't stop. Know that there's a time coming where that this same time that is making you struggle is going to heal your wounds. Time heals. If you have this understanding, you know that things will stabilize as time moves on. Praying for the spirits of understanding, not arguing unnecessarily. You need to sometimes keep your cool, not to defend yourself so much, knowing that all things can be known, knowing that all things are meant for discussions. Learn to understand by knowing that all things are meant for discussion, no matter how your stand is, no matter how you think that what you are saying is just number one, nobody can say anything else. You should know that it can also be meant for discussions, and that will bring powerful, suggestions and powerful contributions and acceptance for us. So you learn to understand by knowing that some things are for privacy. Learn to understand by knowing that some things are for privacy. I always say that you will never take people to your bathhouse. All right. So if you read my book, Who is Knocking, I say that there are doors everywhere and there are private doors. Even in your bedroom, that is a self-contained bedroom. At the place you go where your washroom is, there is a door, meaning that when you go in there, you are there alone. So know where to keep secrets, know where to keep for yourself. Some things are meant for you alone. Most times, because of lack of understanding, we say so many things, we talk too much, and we release secrets that are meant to be for us. And at the end of the day, we find ourselves in problems. We find ourselves in challenges because of our mouth. Learn to understand by knowing what privacy is. Learn to understand by knowing what secret is. Learn to understand by keeping some things for yourself. Thank you so much for giving me this time to share with you understanding as key to peace. Thank you so much.
Wow, 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 wow. Thank you so much. This is amazing, 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 amazing. And we have learned a lot today about. Do you want to stop your? Okay. Something is still echoing, but we just move on. Right. I want to say thank you so much, Pastor Alexandra Boten from Ghana. Thank you for sharing with us this afternoon or this morning, wherever we are, about understanding. And firstly, before I round up his speech, which I think we've all really get it right, because he's already shown us on the screen. So I believe that we've really pick up some few points from those points on understanding. And can I quickly ask, that's what I missed before Dr. Kavita moved on. I should have given you time to ask her questions, but guess what? She's coming back next month, and then we can ask many questions we want to ask her. But before Pastor Alexandra move on, can we quickly ask question? If you have any questions to ask him, do you have any questions at all to ask? Any questions? Nope. I know there's questions, but feel free to ask questions even if we have finished this conference. I mean, this masterclass today. There's still room. Some of you are also Yes You Can International members and families. And we have a WhatsApp group, so feel free to ask your questions. And if you want to direct it to Pastor Alexandra, you can send the questions to me while I send it to him, and he'll be able to answer it correctly on the group. I also want to seize this opportunity to say thank you so much to everyone that has sitting attentively to listen, to learn, and also to make a change, willing to make a change in this world. I want to also seize this opportunity to thank all our people, our great leaders, as they continue to join us. I've seen Dr. Patricia, I've seen Mr. Kande Kando, we've seen Ambassador Samuel, and somebody called Real Me, which I don't know who the person is. I've seen Ambassador Idada. We've seen other people as well. I just mentioned a few names as we go on. I've seen our Honorable Director of Y.Y.C.I International, Sierra Leone, Mr. Mohamed Silvano Kamara. I've seen Professor Mehim from South Africa. So we are all here from all over the world for us to learn together, grow together, and make an impact. Thank you so much, my wonderful manager, Ambassador Idada Offering. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, because in any areas of our life, we can still learn, and learning is lifelong. Learning is living. Thank you also, Mr. Jacob, for joining. Right. The time is really fast spent, so I don't want to waste much of your time, because I think our next mentor is ready for us right from Nigeria. So hold on a second. Let me introduce him. Let me see if I can. Okay. Pastor Alexandra, can you please stop the screening from your side so that I can screen my own, please? Pastor Alexandra, you are still, I can't share my screening because you are there. So can you stop the screening? Is it possible? Because if not, that's fine. I know what to do. We just go straight. Okay, right. I might not share the screen, but I will read it from here. Now the next speaker.
Okay, Queen, you can go ahead and share your screen. You can
Okay.
go ahead and share your screen. I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay. Right. Let's see. Okay, that's it. Right. As we continue, let us continue to celebrate the Platinum Jubilee of Our Majesty HRH Queen Elizabeth II for our 70th years on the throne. So this masterclass today is specifically for us to celebrate together, to learn together, and also to celebrate our Queen in England. So now, our next speaker for today, or last speaker for today, before I start inviting others to give us 1 or 2 minutes, is Dr. King. Is a senior lawyer who also doubles as university lecturer and currently Deputy Dean of Law at the Faculty of Law in Taraba State University, Nigeria, as well as visiting lecturer to some US-based university. As a right defender, he founded Kingsland Foundation in 2010, under which he carries out his humanitarian service in social justice, peace, human rights, and sustainable development, which I am so humbled and grateful to be their president here in UK. And he is an author of numerous books and academic articles published in reputable journals. He is also a screenwriter, songwriter, filmmaker, and recording artist. For pastime, he enjoys playing chess. Wow. So even though our professor is very busy lecturing, He also have his own time because there is time for everything. There is time to play and there's time to work. So for first time, he enjoyed playing chess, golf, lawn tennis, reading, and traveling. So permits me to welcome Dr. Barrister King J. Unkum. Did I get the name right? Yeah, you're welcome, sir.
All right. Thank you very much. I thank you for the opportunity. I don't know if I'm audible enough from here.
Okay, first of all, let me say this is the first time that Dr. Barrister King J is teaching on our platform. So yes, you can, international family. He is also part of us, but let's use this time to just welcome him. Welcome him. Yes, yes. So all is yours now.
All right. All right. I greet all of us this morning, this afternoon. Well, it's still morning in Nigeria, Abuja to be precise, and I find it a great pleasure. I want to also congratulate and salute and commemorate with all our people in the UK and the Queen on this 70th anniversary. It's really a milestone that is worth celebrating. I think the previous Queen, the previous Queen did not stay as long as Queen Elizabeth. I remember she was crowned in her 20s. And right now, it's really a milestone and something worth celebrating. So my job assignment, my job this morning is very simple. I have a topic to deal with, and I must appreciate our Queen in the house also for the opportunity to speak at this August masterclass, because it is not to be taken for granted. It is such an honor and a privilege, and it's a mentoring exercise. I really don't take that for granted. So within the few minutes I have, I would like to do justice to my topic and then go straight to what I have to present. So I was given a topic that has to do with mindset for transformational education and entertainment. And I will be talking about this topic in a very, I would prefer to be more personal about it. I prefer to project my philosophy as to what I think transformational education means and what transformational entertainment means, because I believe that the founder and our Queen had come up with this topic because she has something in mind. And so I will just go straight to look at what this means and then see how our society can be transformed through education and entertainment. That is basically because I operate in both sectors, apart from being a lawyer, and I understand how these things work. And I must tell you that education remains the bedrock of any society. Education remains the bedrock of every development, every civilization. And because of that, I want to say that education is basically in two facets. You have education, which is in the narrow sense of the word, which is what most people are used to. But there's also education in a broader sense. I would like to do justice to this too, and then focus more on education, which is transformational education. Basically, is the one that focuses on the broader sense of the word. So, what is education? Someone will ask. Well, so I would define education basically according to different interpretations, but basically, in simple terms, it means the process of receiving, or giving basically systematic instruction, knowledge, information, ideas, and all that. And basically, because it is structured, it is usually domiciled within the the four walls of the school system, either university, college, and all that. It is formalized in such a way that it is systematic. It is about garbage in and garbage out, permit to use that word. It is about give and take. It is a process of learning that has to do with exchange of ideas, from basically it could be seen as coming from one person to the student, from the lecturer or teacher to the student, but to a large extent, sometimes we learn from students as well. As we are here, we are all learning from one another. And in a basic classroom setting, sometimes lecturers, teachers learn from students. And there are situations where a student asks a particular question, and then maybe the teacher or lecturer is not prepared to answer the question. He decides to give the question as an assignment, and students go to research on it and come back with the solution. At the end of the day, everyone is learning. So that's basically education in the narrow sense. It has to do with curriculum, method of teaching, examination, test, assessment, just to, to get feedback, to get results from as an outcome of what is being taught. So it is prefixed and predetermined. At the end of the day, there must be an outcome. That is basically what it means. So education in a broad sense is a little bit more relaxed than that. Education in a broad sense is like our queen just said, life itself is about learning, and education in a broad sense is basically a lifelong process. It is from the cradle to the grave, that from the moment of birth, I want to take it that we are born empty. Apart from the instincts, apart from basic enablement or endowment which we have by default, we also are seen as born empty. That is why we need to acquire some kind of information to prepare us for the environment in which we find ourselves. And so basically education is a process of mind molding. You see, when we talk about the 7 mind molding mind molders, we talk about education, we talk about sports, we talk about health, we talk about government, law, we talk about religion and all that, because these are mind molders. And out of all this, education is a strong pillar. It helps to mold the mind, because that mind was born empty. That mind was born without, as in void. It needs to be stockpiled. It needs to be deposited with the right information to be able to survive the planet. And so it is basically about being able to deposit relevant information in the mind to transform it from its ordinary state or from its crude state to a refined and a more relevant, or to a more functional state. Because education that is not functional is dysfunctional. And the reason why so many people, okay, let me not go too far into this, but I'm just trying to explain the fact that education is meant to deposit in everyone something he doesn't have, or something which he had, but that needs to be fine-tuned, that needs to be developed, that needs to be processed in order for it to be useful. When God created the entire world, he did put, for instance, he did put the wood, the chair or the furniture inside the tree. He put, the car, the aeroplanes in the sun, in the soil, in the ground. That is metal. So these are all creation in their crude state. So man was also created in that state, to discover himself and then to be able to survive on this earth. So education in a broader sense is not limited to the 4 walls of the classroom, but it's a lifelong process. It's about enlightening experience, that the mind needs to be enlightened. The word enlightenment is from the word light, that when the light shines in the dark of one's soul, one can be able to see the road. So education was basically meant to enlighten and to show us the way to survive. And of course, because education is all about experience, it can either be formal, informal, or non-formal, like I said. So I would like to dwell more on both formal and informal education today, within the next the short time I have. But before then, what is the importance of education? Education is important, like I said, it helps towards self-discovery. Even when the self have been discovered, it helps to help us develop critical thinking and logic on how to relate, how to behave, how to live, how to survive. You see, that's why there's a difference between, there should be a difference between someone who has gone to school and someone who is illiterate, so to say. Of course, while we say education is not limited to the forward of the classroom, I believe that someone who has gone through, let's say, 5 years of college or 4 years of college life should be able to reason more critically and more logically than someone who probably spent all his life in the farm. You know, so education helps us to like the pastor was talking about understanding, and our prof just talked about, you know, how to, you know, to live basically relationships. Now, education helps us to be able to appreciate all these life lessons better, because without understanding the nature of the environment, the nature of the people we relate with, we're bound to have conflict, not just with the people we relate with, but even with the environment. The environment itself will not allow us to survive. The reason why the world is getting where it's getting to today, where we are being besieged by a climatic condition, global warming, and all its consequences, is because we have not learned the lesson necessary to survive on Earth. We have not learned how to conserve our environment. Even when we've learned it, we've not, you know, be able to apply the knowledge in preserving our environment. And so education is very important. It also helps us to be socially stratified. Through education, we earn the requisite qualification. So education qualifies people to attain some height in life. It places them where they should be able to handle some things confidently. That is why they require certification. Even though our certificate is not a proof of being learned, but to an extent, it is what we call in law prima facie. It's on face value, on the surface of it, an evidence that someone has attained a status in life. And so education, there are so many importance, but let me just stop here. What are the functions? So basically, education helps for socialization. People are able to socialize, to interact, you know, to communicate because they've earned education. And then social control. It's a means of social control. Through education, government institutions can be able to disseminate useful information, you know, that would help in the control. Social control actually deals more with issues about crime, delinquencies, vices, and all that. So government is able to control the society through education. Like I said, it may be through mass media, it may be through radio, television, and all that, but it is a form of social education. So we have several of them. Education can be an agent of change, and all that. I want to stop here and let's look at what is functional education or transformational education. I just decided to talk about this briefly because education is meant to be transformational in the sense that, like I did say, people were born crude, and they grew up in environments without education. We grew up in environments where we really need something to help us survive in the environment. You know, so it is basically acquisition. So we have people who are learned, who have gone through the 4 walls of the university or the colleges, and then at the end of the day, people come out, and then all they have to show for is certificate. You know, without what we call in local parlance in Nigeria, certificate. Certificate means, in local parlance, simply means know-how, technical know-how. I'll give you an example. We have situations where someone goes to school and then he graduates as let's say, mechanical engineer. I understand a mechanical engineer to be an engineer who specializes in the mechanics, in machines, you know, in either auto repairs, auto manufacturing, and all that. And then, so how do you feel where you see a mechanical engineer who probably doesn't have an idea of what the fault in his car is? And this mechanical engineer, a graduate, has to rely on the roadside mechanic who probably acquired his skill on, you know, or just learned it through apprenticeship. Now, that means that with due respect, the engineer probably has not acquired the requisite skill while in the university. He has acquired the degree required, right? He has acquired the certificate, but the know-how, it's probably not there. And then you have a case of probably an electrical engineer who probably relies on an ordinary electrician to fix his bulb, when ordinarily he should be talking about manufacturing and all that. So education must be able to instill skill into people. And that means that even the skill acquired through apprenticeship is a good way, is an education in a broad sense. And of course, I see education empower the mind. Empowerment simply meaning the ability to be able to reason, to think logically, the ability to be able to solve problems. It's about liberating the mind from what I call mental slavery due to programming that has been probably instilled maybe from birth. You know, there are different ideas, different agendas, different philosophies, different kinds of times the environment in which one grows determines how far he can reason, how far he can go. You know, so education helps to disabuse people's minds from the decay and the strangulation of wrong information which they have received over the years. And so it helps them to reposition themselves and take their place in the grand scheme of things based on the original master plan or master blueprints for their lives. For me, education is all about discovering purpose, because purpose is critical to survival. Purpose is critical to making it on earth, is critical to succeeding based on the purpose for which we were created. I believe everyone was born with a purpose. That's why he has talent, he has ideas, he has certain things that make them what they are. But it takes discovering these things and then being able to impact our world with it. But you see, without the mind being freed from the enslavement and what the things that retrograde us, that cannot work. And so rather than use education as a tool to enslave people, to just teach them what they need to learn and become servants, like they will call it civil servants, or to just become clerks, I think education should be functional. Functional education is education that is transformational. It transforms the minds to discover, first and foremost, itself, and then discover the environment, and then be able to make an impact in that environment. So it's a tool, and it's very important. And of course, education, like I said, must be empowering. And until that soul is liberated to unleash its creative ability, it cannot be able to discover or bless the world with all the endowment that one has. So I don't see education as a classroom where everybody is just put and then they learn the same thing, they live the same way, they have the same grade. It doesn't matter if they all have A's or they have the best result. But what matters is how fulfilled they are in what they study. I will give you several practical examples on how people from Nigeria. In Nigeria, people pride themselves in becoming lawyers, doctors. It's about the title is actually it's inviting, it's tempting. So people send their children abroad to the UK, to the US to study medicine, law, and all that. And some is because of family prestige. Some people don't look at, okay, what is this child's basic wiring? What is his basic, formation? What is his basic talents, his giftings, his potentials? They just feel that they're not looking for a title, that this particular course will make this child more, will make our family proud. And so he's sent to school to study law. I've had to deal with cases of medical malpractice. Now, a lot of clinics, hospitals being operated, some of them don't have the requisite skill, or there's a lot of negligence in some of these hospitals, not because the doctors are not good. No, it simply means that some of these doctors were basically more interested or more inclined towards something, but their upbringing, their family, there was this pressure for them to study a particular course, to study medicine, for instance. And then, so you have examples of a doctor who was probably surgically operating a patient, and he forgets some some instrument in the patient and sew them up. Now, a lot of those cases, and then you have cases of, just this morning I was reading about one, plastic surgery gone bad, the lady died, and so many things going on, not because these doctors are quack, I'm just giving an example, but because some of them were not really wired for these things. Someone is a medical doctor, he went to university to study medicine for 6 years, 8 years and all that, but he doesn't like seeing blood. And whenever he sees blood, he fidgets, it affects him, his hands start shaking. Meanwhile, probably he has more interest in music, and they'll tell him music is for way for people, is for gangsters, music is not good for you, you must be a medical, music is not for responsible people. You want to be responsible, you must study law, study medicine, study all that. And so it is not functional. At the end of the day, okay, I'm hearing myself, sorry. Sorry, there's a callback. All right, sorry about that. There was a callback. I was hearing some sound by the background. So education is meant to basically place people in their proper place in life. It is meant to put them help them discover themselves, their purpose, their potentials, and then be able to maximize it to bless humanity and to serve God. So I want to say that have you wondered why people go through the system, go to the university, go through the educational system, and still come out looking for job, or not being able to do something for themselves, despite the fact that there are a lot of problems on ground. It could be economic problem, financial problem, all kinds of problems. It's because they have not been fed with the right kind of information to solve problems. Education that is transformational must be problem solving. It must be geared towards problem solving, must be solution driven. Any education that is solution driven is basically not functional and cannot transform an individual, let alone transform the society. I'm sorry, I can hear I don't know where it's from me, but there is this sound. Oh.
Mrs. Esther, can you please unmute yourself? Thank you.
All right, sorry about that. So I'm just about going into entertainment now. I would like this is going to go straight into entertainment because of our time. That entertainment in a real sense is the concept of entertainment. It actually has to do with, I want to use the word captivate. So it's like the ability to hold someone, to be able to hold someone inside, or hold the person and captivate the person to the point that they get engrossed, they get involved, they get engaged in what is happening. And so entertainment, as it were, originally when we started maybe from the 17th century, the likes of Shakespeare and the rest in their plays and all that. But right now, entertainment basically means beyond amusement, it means the ability to captivate the mind, the ability to influence it, not just captivate it, but influence it. So the entertainment industry can be seen, basically, a lot of people see it as being synonymous with the arts, but it's not necessarily the same thing. So the arts on its own is part of entertainment, but entertainment industry is bigger than the arts. So most of the time when we talk about entertainment, we're referring to the performing arts, not the other arts like sculpting, painting, and all that. We're referring to performing arts, which will include music, movies, music plays, include other art forms, performance generally. So my thoughts on entertainment here is that entertainment is only transformational when it has the ability to positively cause social change, when it has the ability to positively cause transformation in the lives of people. Because you see, why a lot of people, especially from parents, do not see the entertainment industry, or let's say their child going to study music or going to study film or theater and all that, is because of the conception they always have that this sector promotes certain vice, certain attitudes, behavior. For instance, the entertainment in our modern age is not as transformational as it should be, because of all the negative attitudes, negative feedback we get. Some of the contents of entertainment are not wholesome. They don't promote virtue or value. Instead, they promote certain vices, and some of them promote violence, promote gangsterism, they promote nudity, and drug abuse and all that. And because of this picturization, a lot of people are put off. Actually, the negative influence of entertainment that is not transformational is enormous. And then government tries everything to bring about social control that I was talking about through in the entertainment industry, by regulating it, by trying to see that they are being censored and all that. So when if they for the entertainment industry to be transformational, the content itself must be useful, must be relevant to the society. It must be able to cause social change. It must be able to cause social change. Without this, we can't achieve transformation. My time is fast spent. I wouldn't want it to go so deep or take all of the time I have, but let me just summarize by saying that it is possible to fuse entertainment and education, which has been known as edutainment. I think this concept been used since the 60s or thereabout. That it's possible, and this basically is all about using the media. Like this medium of exchange we're having is a form of entertainment education, because it's about, like I said, it's about captivating. It's not necessarily about music or song. It's about the ability for us to use the media to communicate across space, across distances, and then being able to understand ourselves. So several organizations have used mediums like this. They've used the entertainment industry. It could also be disseminated through music, through movies. So like in Kingsland Foundation, we use music. I mean, we use movies too to promote certain things. Like during the lockdown, a lot of cases on rape or sexual violence, and we had to do a movie called "Unrape Me," and then that, though it's yet to be released, but it's a way of disseminating knowledge, ideas using the entertainment industry. So they are interconnected and they have their place. But above all, entertainment is transformational, must be functional. It must be able to solve problems. It must be able to be solution driven, looking at the time, which the environment and the need of the society. That is the only way to achieve social change. I thank you for this time. I'm not able to say much, but I hope that I am able to say a little. Thank you, Ma, for this time.
Thank you so much. Even though the connectivity is playing off, we still learn a lot. The reason why we need to incorporate this education and entertainment is because we need to be renewing our mindset about it. Because like Dr. King Nkrumah said, that people have misconceptions about it, and we need to change it. We need to bring awareness that education and entertainment is also very important, that we apply the two, we collaborate the two together. Because even here in UK as well, and I know some of you will know one of the biggest university here in the UK, Oxford University and Cambridge University. And about 10 years ago, they changed their entrance requirement And that is to tell, just to show people that you are not only coming to university just to study what you want to study, but they want multi-task, multi-skills. So they want to see what you do outside your outside your studying. They want to see your skills. They want to see your hobby. They want to see your interest, because they believe that all these things will work together. You don't just want to become a medical doctor. They want to establish that being a medical doctor, you can still be a singer. Be a medical doctor, you can still be an entertainer. Be an educator, so they're trying to incorporate other skills alongside. And that is why your topic, sir, is very, very unique, because entertainment and education needs to work in hand. You can believe with me, with this new change after COVID-19, you can see that people are even applying both together. Like, for example, when it comes to technology, you can apply your lessons or your topic that you're going to teach. You can apply it by also integrating other activities like music or drama. So there are so many ways we can teach these children, because these children need to learn. Sometimes they are bored in class. Sometimes they are not paying attentive in class. But when we incorporate this little entertainment with our lessons, they tend to do well because they catch up fast. So that is why I think it's very important. And I also like the way Dr. King has said that sometimes we think those people singing or acting or playing even basketball or something, we thought it is not really a good skill. And sometimes we tried to stereotype them, to say anyone singing or doing their appearance in funny way, and they are not intelligent, or they don't have what it takes to be successful. But I can agree with my doctor, because most of the medical lawyers in Nigeria are also an actress and actors. So it's so unique, because yes, you have to tune into what is in the market. Whether you want to be doctor, lawyer, you still also have to learn other skills. And there's nothing bad in you having both together, being educated to higher level and also being skillful. Or let's put it this way, using your gift, because every one of us has a gift. So there is something, skills is different from gift. So when you have both together, then your future can be much better. So thank you so much for teaching us, and you are coming back to continue this lesson about transformational education and entertainment. So we've listened to all our teachers today, but we will soon be going. But I just want to give an opportunity to few people to quickly say something, and then we will end this program today to come back tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So I'm using this opportunity to call on Pastor Dr. Ambassador Holly Edapo to give us few of his words to fire us. Are you here?
Yes, good evening, good everyone. Good everyone. I'm glad to be here. Good everyone. I'm really glad to be here today, and I want to thank each and every one of you who have spoken initially. It's a privilege to be around, sincerely. I want to thank everyone. For my mother, I say thank you very much for the privilege to always hear me speak. I cannot abuse that privilege. And every other speaker who has spoken initially, you guys have done amazingly well. But in 3 minutes, I will just jump on 2 things which are very essential, very, very essential, very, very essential. Number one thing I would say is that at times we can be in darkness. And when we're in darkness, we should not be weary. So you can be in darkness and you are like, is this what God wants for me? Is this what God had for me? No, the relevance of light cannot be known if there are no darkness. So the relevance of light cannot be known if there are no darkness. So you can find your place in where it does not even align with your personality. So even when you find yourself in darkness, don't be weary. People in Africa say, no, Africa is bad, Nigeria is bad. They are complaining. But complaint cannot solve the problem. The issue here is you have to illuminate your environment. You have to change things around you. See, things cannot be changed by complaining. I see a lot of Africans in Nigeria and after Nigeria and across Africa complain, oh, Africa is bad, Africa is backward. See, in every bad, there's a good. So please, when you find yourself in environments that does not align with your purpose, don't say, why did God brought me here? God has brought you to change the narrative. God has brought you here to change the narrative because light cannot be valued if there's no darkness. So you are the light of the world, not just your street light. You are not a street light, you are the light of the world. So beyond your street, you have to make impact, you have to shine. So please don't let what God has given to you remain in you. What God has given to you is for generations. Write books, sing song, write those things that God, don't go to the grave, feed, live your dream and die empty. It's God's intention that He has put in you virtues, He has put in you glory, He has put in you a lot of things. Please and please don't go to the grave full. The goal is to die empty. Live your dream and die empty. Don't go with those songs. Don't go with those books. Don't go with those inventions. Don't rob the word of those things that God has placed in you. Don't rob the word of those things that God has placed in you. Don't rob the word of those things that God has placed in you. In every man, there is an invention. Have you bet your invention? In every man, there is an invention. Are you still depriving the word of what they should need to enjoy through you? You are a channel of blessing. Are you blessing others? You are a channel of blessing. Are you blessing others? Through you, life should be blessed. You are not in this world to just live your own life the way you like it. No, you are programmed to impact generations. You are programmed to live a life that others will glorify God. Bible says, see, there's a life that we need to live. That when men see us, they will thank God, which is in heaven. So if men cannot say, oh, thank God for all this, you have not started. If men cannot thank God for your existence, you have not started. The second thing I would say is this: is that even as you climb the ladder of success, be careful of the praises of men. Again, even as you climb the ladder of success, be careful of the praises of men. See, the praises of men is the ladder of failure. The praises of men is what is the ladder of failure. You will go far than much more than where you are currently if you ignore the praises of men. They are clapped to downfall. Now, when people applaud you, check who they are. Again, when people applaud you for what you have done, what did I say? Check who they are. Number why? Why does it do that? Enemies will applaud you at the edge of success to distract you from reaching the stars. Enemies will applaud you to distract you from reaching the stars. So be careful of those who applaud you. Now, but kings will applaud you at the attainment of success. Again, enemies will be around you to distract you when you are reaching the stars. But kings will applaud you at the attainment of success. So please don't be carried away by the applause of men. They are the ladder of downfall. So thank you very, very much. Like I'll say again, please, in every man, there is an invention. Please don't die with what God has put in you. There is something inside of you that the world needs to enjoy. So please and please leave your drain and that empty. Thank you very much. It is 3 minutes.
Thank you so much, Dr. Holly Tidapo. Thank you so much, our fireman in the house. I really appreciate, even though it is 3 minutes talk, but then we've gained a lot from that 3 minutes, because it's not, some people might be talking for 50 hours and you can't grab anything from it, but we've grabbed something few and very important that you have given us today. So I want to say thank you so much. Before we round up, permit me, even though we are still waiting for my professor to speak to us tomorrow to give us a full version, but just for me to just acknowledge his presence here. I would like to acknowledge the presence of Dr. TPS quickly. Sir, say hello to us.
Namaste, namaste, namaste. I was here listening, but I couldn't show up because I was doing something else parallelly.
That's okay.
So see you tomorrow. That's nice. Starting from Kavita to Kavita started the program, and then now a dynamic presentation.
Yes.
Not a dynamic presentation.
Yes, thank you so much, sir. And we see you tomorrow. I
See you
also
tomorrow.
want to quickly give opportunity because I'm checking the time. I want us to finish up within 10 minutes. So with 2 minutes, can I quickly also say hello to Pastor Nelson? He's also one of our speakers. Please say hello to us, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello, everyone. Greeting and peace to everyone. I'm really very glad today to hear all of the speakers, and thank you, dear Queen, for organizing a wonderful program for master classes. And also, I also appreciate that you are celebrating 70th anniversary, and that's a good time. And I'm really very glad to see everyone. And thank you for participating, and everyone who are participating today. And especially, I'm also thankful for my Pakistani team, where I preach every Sunday in the midnight from Australia, and they listen via Skype and telephone. And thank you very much for everyone who are here. So God bless you. I pray for everyone. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We really appreciate your presence. We also appreciate the words that you have shared with us today, and we're looking forward for. I think your section is also tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, and we are ready to listen, to learn together, and to make an impact. So thank you so much. Yes, can I quickly say something quickly? Yes, my name is Elizabeth Lucas II, but we are celebrating our own Queen Mama. She is 97, and she is on the throne for 70 years. So even though we bear the same name, my own is Elizabeth Lucas, African Queen. Her own is Elizabeth II, the Queen of England, and we are celebrating together.
Yes, you can.
So thank you so much for this time. Permit me quickly, even if it is just 1 minute, 2 minutes, to call on Mr. Gill. Do you want to say hello to us? I know you are here. Do you want to quickly say hello to us, Mr. Gill? Because we are all learning together. Are you there? Can you quickly say hello? Okay. All right. Mr. Gill, Azza Gill? No? Okay. Professor Dr. Mehi, can you say hello to us, please, quickly, because we want to round up?
Sure. Greetings to everyone, and the universal greeting of peace and blessings to everybody. And it's amazing. We always just learn from each other. We learn together, and we learn to build each other as we go through these processes. Thank you to Y.Y.C.I. Thank you to you, Honorable Queen, and thank you to every speaker who gives their time. We appreciate each other, and we appreciate every effort that's put into these programs, because we, like we say, we grow together. So thank you so much. Looking forward to tomorrow as well.
Thank you so
and
much.
Blessings
Thank you
on the 70th celebration also.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I really appreciate all our great mentors, our great speakers. And I really appreciate their time, because they are all very busy, but because they love me the way I am. So that is why they keep coming to come and share with us. I don't want to be greedy in learning alone from them. So that is why this platform is open so that I invite all my mentors and then they will come and teach all of us together. So I appreciate them. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I also want to quickly call on Ambassador Prasanti to quickly say hello to us because she's also with us here. Quickly, 1 minute, please, if it's possible. Okay, thank you.
Once again, good evening to one and all. We have a number of takeaways from today's session, right from relationship management to education and entertainment. And these takeaways, tomorrow we have much more expectations. No, we get much more information to transform our lives through education and through understanding each and one another. So my gratitude to Elizabeth Lucas ma'am for providing me this platform. Thank you.
Thank you.
So much.
Thank you so much, Ambassador Presente. I also want to seize this opportunity to say thank you and also to quickly announce to you that tomorrow is another day. Please come prepared, come and learn, and come with your questions. I know we didn't ask questions today because we started a little bit late because of the delay, but you cannot allow Professor TPS teaching us and not asking questions. So please load it with questions for him tomorrow so that we can grab everything from Professor TPS, from Pastor Nelson, and who knows, maybe Pastor Alexander, if he's with us tomorrow, we might have a question from our audience. Dr. Kings, you might have a question, Professor Kavita. So please join us tomorrow. We're going to ask questions. I will prepare my own questions because the topic for Professor TPS is learn to learn. Wow. Are we ready? Are we ready for him? Good. And also, Pastor Nelson, I think yours is tomorrow too. Is it? Yes, tomorrow? Is it tomorrow or Saturday? He's also going to teach us on prayer and peace. Wow, we are getting something from here. It's just for us to be preparing ourselves, for us to be renewing our mindset, to be reminded again that yes, we have to take some actions. We need to pray. We need to have peace. We have to work together, communicate together, and do other things. And entertainment, you know, how we can incorporate the education and entertainment together, and then how we can get a better understanding, because we can know that if we don't understand ourselves, we will abuse ourselves. So that is for the next time. Pastor Alexander is coming back again next month. And then also I want to see this opportunity to call on Dr. Patricia. If you're here, please quickly say hello to us. I just want to acknowledge you. Please say hello to us. Dr. Patricia, please. Yes. Yes, I know
hello,
you're
hello.
here. Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
Hello, sorry, I'm still at work. Hello, everyone. I just
Okay.
wanted to say we learned quite a lot today. I was listening to most of the key speakers.
Okay.
Otherwise, thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Yes, yes. And be here tomorrow because my mentor, Professor TPS, is coming tomorrow to come and enlighten us. Are you ready? Yes, I'm ready. So let's also call on anybody else that wants to speak. Anybody else before I end up this hour, because we don't want to stay too long. We have a lot of things to do. I think I will call on quickly, maybe the last one, Mr. Kanda Kando. Mr. Kande Kando Kambo, are you here? Okay, right. I think I've put it just, I think if I want to round up, I will call on my partners. Princess K, yes, please say something quickly.
Someone's iPad.
Okay. Hello, Princess K.
District coordinator.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Because it has opened my mind to different.
Okay, we appreciate you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. And we see you here tomorrow again. And without wasting, by God's grace, without wasting any much time, can I request my personal secretary to do the vote of thanks, and then we can end this masterclass for today. Nuruddin Lukman.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you give a vote of thanks, please?
Good morning from Nigeria to everyone around the world. My name is Nuruddin. It is a great honor to end this masterclass. My gratitude, thanks, my praises to honor God who made this masterclass a reality. My thanks, gratitude goes to Dr. Elizabeth Lucas for creating this platform to empower people, to inspire and motivate people for their time for the future. All our speakers have done so well, have spoken so well. In fact, your words, your nice talks have really motivated all of us here. And I believe your wise words, your nice talks, your words will never die in your mouth. We are looking forward to listening to your motivating words, to your nice talks soon, tomorrow, and then next tomorrow. We await your presence. May God bless you and more. Thanks very much.
I'm kindly
You are muted, Dr. Elizabeth.
Sorry,
you are muted.
sorry. Sorry. Okay, let me just quickly announce that by Saturday, we'll be launching the next Y.Y.C.I magazine featuring our special Queen of the Year, Queen Elizabeth II, the Queen of England. On Saturday, we'll be launching the magazine. And because we are all celebrating, I think after the launching, the magazine and the certificate will be sent to you all free. Thank you so much. So without wasting any other time, let me say thank you so much, Dr. TPS. Thank you so much, Pastor Alexandra. Thank you so much, Pastor Nelson. Thank you so much, Ambassador Prasante. Thank you so much, Dr. Patricia. Thank you so much, Ambassador Holly Hidalgo. Thank you so much, our Pastor Alexandra Burton. Thank you so much, Real Me C2. I don't know.
Aksa Madid.
Okay. Please, can you encourage us to write our name so it will be
Okay,
easier for us?
I will.
Yes, thank you so much, Miss Esther. Thank you so much, my personal secretary. Thank you so much, Mr. Kande. And I think so many people have left already, but we do appreciate you all, including Professor Charles. He was there earlier with us. So I appreciate you all. Thank you for working with me, learning together, growing together, and making a change together.
Yeah.
And then impart into people together. So I want to say thank you so much. Tomorrow, 10 o'clock, hopefully there will be no destruction tomorrow. There will be no disturbance. We will start as early as possible and then we'll finish well. So I want to thank you for your patience. I want to thank you for the love you have for us as Y.Y.C.I family. I want to appreciate you all, and I want to see good news coming out of this mindset and transformational masterclass. I want to hear good news from every one of us, because we are here to learn together and to make an impact into the world. So for not wasting any of that time, I want to say thank you so much. Tomorrow is another day for great speakers coming to speak to us, coming to teach us and mentor us tomorrow. Please invite your friends, invite people from your circle. This thing is not only for 13 people, it's for many to learn.
Yeah.
Dr. PTS is very busy, but he has chosen to come and teach us great stuff that can change our mindset and see beyond what we know, and for us to perform greatest. Pastor Nelson is also coming back, and other great speakers. Please, it's not only for us. Let's be caring and sharing. Invite people to come and join us. Let's learn together, grow together, and make an impact or make a change in this world. So on that occasion, unless if there's any other things that anybody wants to say, I will end this masterclass at 12:30 UK time. Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
God bless everyone.
God bless you.
Yeah, bye-bye, everybody.
Okay, so since I'm not the host, Ambassador Pastor Alexandra, I think you will need to end this meeting. Can you click?
All right. Thank you so much for the honor of ending the meeting. Thank you so much, Prof.
Okay. Thank you.